honored to introduce you to British-Israeli composer Loretta Feld, who was privately contacted by a member of the British royal family who was, quote-unquote, close to the Queen with what was a personal request. That request centered around what the accomplished composer could do to contribute to the celebration this year, and resulted in a musical composition especially made for the Queen, and led to a collaboration with award-winning Irish film director Jason Figgis, who also put the score's 70 Years of Queen and the Queen's Soliloquy to video. And here's a sample of that work. And we're honored to be joined by Loretta Feld, the composer, and resides in Ra'anana, Israel. Thanks for coming to the studio. Loretta, first of all, fascinated by how this came to be. Can you tell us how you were approached, who approached you perhaps from the monarchy, and what was your initial reaction to this request?
I can say that I was absolutely delighted, thrilled, honored, and absolutely a great privilege to compose for Her Majesty, being a female monarch. And I am a female composer, writer, playwright, and author. And it was absolute wonderful to write not only the piece that you've just heard, but the Queen's Soliloquy, which depicts her emotions, looking backwards on her life. And yesterday actually was the first time published 70 Years a Queen. Wow. Which was wonderful.
I believe you said in some of the reading I did around this, the articles have been written about your work here, that you were inspired walking along the cliffs of the seaside. Was it hard to compose a piece for the Queen of England? I mean, was there pressure inherent in that?
Not really, because walking along Apollonia, which I love and often walk along, I basically felt what the emotions of a female monarch. People don't realize there is a woman behind the crown. She's a woman with feminine feelings and emotions, and I tried to capture that in all that I wrote for her, the lyrics, the music, and everything. And it was, it came to me very quickly, and an absolute pleasure to gift it to her.
You highlight obviously the Queen, and I believe from what I had researched a little, from some 62 monarchs in the history of the kingdom, 8 have been women queens. So obviously a great minority here in this role, and her reign, clearly 70 years as we're talking about, has spanned generations. What's the impact of that in terms of the feminist perspective?
Well, if you look at the impact of the Queen over 70 years, just amazing. She is such a stoic person. She's had a great influence on the world, as did Queen Victoria, another great monarch in the history, who I think the Queen has actually reigned a few more years than Queen Victoria. But I was very impressed by Queen Victoria, and have now completed a musical called 1897, music, the books, the lyrics, about Queen Victoria, not just about Queen Victoria, but that particular time in history and the power of women at that particular time. So I'm
abysmal, essentially. Not a good era.
Not a good era, but a very good era for the aristocracy. A very bad area for the lower class women. Yes.
I mean, just looking at this week, the streets of London in particular, we're seeing people camped out with tents coming from all over the country, internationally, I believe, with many people coming in, not just the British themselves, speaking to this national passion still for this monarchy. How do you feel that? How do you describe that, what it does for a nation to celebrate this?
Look, the monarchy has always been, and I believe will continue to be, a great influence on the world. Everybody in the world loves the Queen. Well, almost everybody. I'm very fond of her. Yeah. She's a wonderful influence, especially for women. And I strongly believe that women at any age whether it's 96, whether it's 17, whether it's in her 70s, can do anything that she sets her mind to. She has goals, she has dreams, she has power to do whatever she wants. And I feel so proud as a feminine composer to have written this for Her Majesty. Yes.
Do you think there's any substance to this sort of counterpoint that maybe the monarchy should be abolished, or that it's outdated, an outmoded issue? Does that have any traction?
If it's going to be abolished, what's going to come after it?
Good question.
People will not see Buckingham Palace, they won't see the horse guards, the trooping of the colour, the splendour of London. And one of the songs in my musical is called London is Shining Today.
Beautiful.
And it will go on shining for a long, long time.
Loretta K. Feld, on that note, wonderful note to part on. Thank you for coming to the studio today.